Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. I am going to keep this short. I am on my 14th hour right now in the shop and I am exhausted. And so let's see what happened today. And I'll tell you why I'm here so late and so exhausted and like literally ready to collapse. Anyway, so Rafa worked on the mouse gray bus today, this beauty, and he put in the remaining couple of coat hooks. We had one in previously, I think that one was in, and he went ahead and put these two in today. So those went in. And then on top of that, he started building out the door windows. And I think those, I think he's got those ready to install. So those should be going in maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I think Rafa's got some momentum right now on this car. So I think he's wanting to keep working on it and probably go ahead and install both of those. So that was most of his day. These things, they can take a while to build, especially this year range, which has the latch that goes on this little plate here versus the other more common style where there's a hole in the glass that this latch goes through. These are definitely a bit harder to install or to assemble. So yeah, a lot of time went into putting those together. So as for me, so, as you can see, our favorite cowlook car here, the Van Halen Bug, is back. And let's talk about why. So, the reason it's back is because the owner had some pretty bad gas smell in his garage after the car was parked in there. And so, these later cars, there's just a lot of areas in the gas tank and the fuel system that are prone to making gas smells. So let's talk about what we did here to try and get rid of those. So a couple things. One is the sending unit itself. Pulled that out and I used some sealant that was recommended to me by Brian Roth, which is called Moto Seal or something like that. It is fuel compatible, so it's kind of like a Permatex type sealant, but again, fuel compatible. The normal like RTVs and stuff aren't necessarily fuel compatible. This one is. So I sealed both sides of the rubber gasket and sealed around where all the screws went and stuff like that. There was some evidence that there was some fuel weeping around the fuel sender, so that was probably one. The other one may have been coming from here, which was actually not plugged, and I didn't necessarily expect that to make any fuel odor because it's up kind of high and would just more or less act like a breather. But I suspect some odor may have been coming from this little previously open junction here. So what I did was a lot like the stock style, except I routed it a little bit differently. I put a breather hose on it, run it over here. Normally it goes way back up underneath the dash and across, but this is getting all covered, so went ahead and just run it along the tank here and then teed it up to the breather that comes out of here and then made kind of like a bigger loop of that one. So pretty much just a lot of breather hose on here that ultimately go down like the stock one. It just kind of points down at the ground from here. So lots of loops of a breather hose, again, from this side and all the way over and up and around, kind of looping around, and then ultimately kind of facing down to the ground. So there shouldn't really be any vapors per se coming out of either of those locations. And then again, resealed up the fuel sender there. I didn't see any sign of leaking around these joints here, so I think those are okay. I think the car right now has maybe like 3/4 of a tank of gas. So probably the next thing I'm going to do tomorrow, not today, because I'm done, is go ahead and top the fuel tank off, and then, anywhere that would be leaking should leak if it's going to, or weep, or whatever you want to call it. And just spend lots of time with my nose under here, seeing if I can detect any fuel smells coming from under here. So yeah, anyway, we don't want this guy's garage and house smelling like gasoline, because nobody likes that. So that is why this car is back. So hopefully I'll finish this up and get it back to him in the next day or so. But I want to make sure that it's like legit, not stinking of gas anymore. So yeah, little things like that sometimes can kind of come back and haunt you. So this one, we did make some progress on the fuel injection system. Pretty good progress, actually. So turns out, after testing the throttle position sensor, and then I pulled it off again and took it over to AJ's, and we tried it on a throttle body over there, hooked up to an EFI computer, and yeah, that throttle position sensor was just reading way too low, and in fact it was reading 0 when installed on the throttle body. And on the throttle body, it should be at least like 0.13 volts up to, I think, like 0.8 or something. There's a pretty big range that it should be at 0 throttle, essentially. But for whatever reason, that particular throttle position sensor was reading like 0. And that reading 0 really pisses off the ECU. And so it was causing some issues there. So got that in, and the motor actually runs smoother now. It revs smoother because, again, it was very flaky how it was kind of picking up the signal from that throttle position sensor. The essentially like accelerator pump circuit, even though it's not an accelerator pump, the part of the EFI program that does the same thing as an accelerator pump just wasn't really responding well. And again, that was all related to the throttle position sensor, which apparently was defective in some way. Even though we measured it and it measured correctly, it was only when you put it on a throttle body and measured it, you would kind of see what was going on there. Anyway, long story short, that works bitchin' now. However, this thing is running a bit odd, and took it over to AJ's, and we noticed that the timing is off, which is peculiar because we were positive that we had that set correctly when AJ first came over and we started this motor up with this fuel injection system. But the timing is a bit retarded, and so we spent few hours actually this evening trying to diagnose that. So he actually has right now the crank position sensor and the pulley off this motor. And in the morning, he's going to mock those up on another system and see what's going on. And so it's possible that the crank position sensor has an issue. So he'll get to the bottom of it. So I'm hoping that by maybe tomorrow afternoon or something, I'll get those parts back and put this thing back together and be back on track with this thing to get it done. The owner's very anxious to get his car, and it's been kind of a long road for him. So I hate to have any more delays, but at the same time, we need to make this thing right. So hopefully that will be the last little thing to iron out here with the fuel injection system. The good news is ordered seat belts for this today. That's kind of one of the last big things to go in. So I'll probably go ahead and install the seat belts tomorrow. And then once we get the motor running well, probably related to that crank position sensor, then at that point we're basically ready to charge the AC system on this thing. And that's like one of the last major things on here. So hoping by midweek even to have all these things sort of ironed out on this car, and the owner is asking if he can pick it up next week, and I'm hoping that we can make that happen. And I'm probably going to be putting in more very, very long days here to make that happen. So that's just what you got to do sometimes when you run a business. Anyway, I don't think anything else happened today. So I think that's it, guys. I'm beat. I'm mentally and physically and emotionally exhausted. So I'm going to go home. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching, and we will see you again soon. Bye.